What's up, YouTube? On this episode of Coddiwomple Overland, we're going to be making our way along Route 66 through Missouri, all the way through Uranus.
We don't need a destination, let's go where the river's taking us.
The story actually begins in Baxter Springs, Kansas, and rides us along the short 13-mile section of Route 66 that's in Kansas. Our first stop was to top off with a little bit of Phillips 66 fuel at the Baxter Visitor Center. No, you really can't get fuel here, but you can get filled up on information. There was a lot of history in here about Route 66, Baxter Springs, and its involvement in this great highway. But we really wanted to see what the open road could show us. Things like the Rainbow Bridge. This is the only concrete structure, arch bridge like this, that's still in existence along Route 66. It was built in 1923. Just a short drive up the road, we found ourselves coming into Galena, Kansas, which is the farthest west town that you're going to find in the state. Main Street in Galena still has that 1920s look, and it's like stepping back in time. All you need to do is, instead of picturing these modern cars here, start picturing some Model 8s. Just like most other small towns along Route 66, Galena has paid tribute to Route 66 coming through their town. And you can see that by murals and a couple other tourist attractions that they've developed here. One that stuck out to us was cars on the Route 66 gas station. Not only is this display really neat to walk around and see, this place also has souvenirs and sandwiches. When he looks at Aspen over there in the truck, he's wanting to know where his sandwich is. After the customary picture under the Route 66 Galena sign, it was time to move on to Missouri. Right here we cross into Missouri. Missouri's history along Route 66 is really defined by its role as the birthplace of the highway's name. Its 317 miles stretches from Joplin to St. Louis. While Joplin is certainly a bigger town than some of the others, it still has that 1920s architecture along the Route 66 route. Joplin was one of the original towns that Route 66 came through, and it became a major stopping point for travelers due to its location of the Ozarks and its history with mining of lead and zinc. Joplin celebrates its history on Route 66 through the Route 66 Mural Park, the History and Minerals Museum, the Historic District, and the Route 66 Visitor Center. From Joplin, we continue making our way east along the original Mother Road. Next, we make our way into Springfield. Springfield is known as the birthplace of Route 66, and the reason for that is this is where the name of the historic highway was officially proposed April 30th of 1926. It's obvious as soon as you come into town that they're very proud of their heritage and their history behind Route 66. Along this route, you can still find original motels, restaurants, and other historical points of interest.
How is the Andes?
Andy's is top notch. Aspen's mad because he didn't get one yet. But this is the Snow Monster. It's custard, strawberries, and melted chocolate chips. Very, very good. I know where we're coming back to when we come to more.
Give him some custard too.
Our next stop was in St. Robert, and we got here at the perfect time. It was just in time for the Neon Park to light up. This is one of the more recent attractions that's been put along Route 66, but it holds some of the original neon signage. This section is also known as Bloody 66 for years. In the 1950s, after Fort Leonard Wood was reactivated, the highway became known as this due to several fatal traffic accidents.
It's best photographed from the park.
Next on our list to stop at was Rubidoux Springs. This is not only a popular stopping point along Route 66, it was used by the natives long, long ago. Its most recognized time was during the Trail of Tears. It's recognized as an historical campment site along the Trail of Tears. Just beside, and probably the reason for this stopping point, was the huge spring that is right here next to the Rubidoux camp. It's now known as the Roy Laughlin Park. The spring is crystal clear, and it goes to a depth of over 350 feet. It's also a really popular place for cave divers to come and get their certifications.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now where you go in at.
Not only does Waynesville have the Rubidoux Springs, it also has its own unique take on the Route 66 heritage. Our next stop was one of the more popular ones in Missouri. Yep, you guessed it. It's Uranus. While the Uranus Fudge Factory is not an historical point along Route 66, as it was founded in 2015. The factory is celebrated by its humorous and quirky roadside attraction theme. It features things like the world's largest belt buckle and various statues. Inside, the visitors find a wide selection of fudge, candy, novelty items, along with a very friendly and humorous staff. At this point, we were not just checking out the sights and the history, we were checking out the skies and the radar. Well, all of us except for Aspen. We knew the storms were coming, but there was still a lot of stuff that we wanted to see between here and Springfield. Things like the Red Cedar Inn in Pacific, Missouri. This was originally built as a restaurant in 1934, and it was right along Route 66. It was most famous for its log construction and its fried chicken. The restaurant was closed in 2005 and became a museum. From there, we had to stop and check out another Route 66 bridge. This one's been decommissioned and crossed the Maramee River. that radar we were talking about? Well, it was closing in on us. The storms were not only growing in intensity, but they were also getting a lot closer. But we had one more stop that we wanted to check out. This was the Route 66 State Park, and it was just on the other side of that decommissioned bridge we were talking about.
That's the bridge we were under.
This is another very neat museum with a huge amount of history, not just for the St. Louis area or Missouri, but all of Route 66.
They're all doing it.
Look at that wind around that. Yeah, we'd be right in the middle of all that crap. Look at how that wind
So not only were they growing in intensity, they were also looked like they were going to be turning into microbursts, or already had. It was time for us to make our way out of Missouri and get east out of these storms. We had one more attraction that we just had to see. Only problem was I had got us down here in this industrial district and was trying to figure our way out. This is probably not the part of St. Louis that you want to be cruising around in.
It's more like urban killing.
But we made it. We made it to the Arch in St. Louis. The only problem was now it was pouring the rain. So we'll have to stop another time and go inside. But at least we've made it to the gateway to the west. Crossing the Mississippi River, we had put Missouri into our rearview mirror and was looking toward the east. The plan was to get out of the rain and make our way on home. We've got one more state to do on Route 66, and we hope you'll join us on that next one. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, see you.